Hello, everyone. Jeffrey and Janet and Bill, Betty Woods, Ron, Cindy. I believe I got them all. Okay, everyone, we're here tonight, Wednesday night. We got some information. In my mind, we got some good information, but who knows what's real? And we're going to discuss that about some things tonight. We're going to discuss what's real, what's not. Because let's face it, we've been coming on these shows now for 6 years. And what is really real? Well, what is real is the children. The children who we're doing what we're doing each and every night, coming here, chatting, each and every night, coming here, sharing information. Every day we have people constantly going out, getting information. It's not about what's real right now for us guys. It's about staying together as a group and building our foundations. And the one thing I'm real tired of right now is new people coming in. And we were warned. We were warned that these new people would come in and they would try to make a few bucks real quick. They would try to do this. They would try to do that. Why? Why? Because they're greedy. And then they go and they report that there's a gentleman out there, guys, that he cracks me up. He acts like he's God's gift to us, that he was a second coming. He might be the second coming of the hat, is the way he acts. He knows it all. And then he gets talking. And I want to ask you guys over here, Jeffrey and Ron and Cindy, and do you remember a guy by the name of Mike Douglas? Do you remember a guy by the name Mike Douglas when he used to have a talk show host? He was a talk show host in the daytime. He was going to replace the unreplaceable Johnny Carson. And all of a sudden, not only did Johnny Carson disappear, AKA, you know what, but so did Mike Douglas. And this man is on the other day and he's talking about Mike Douglas. For those who don't know him, he says, for those that don't know who Mike Douglas is, he was a famous reporter. Oh my goodness. Then he went on to talk about others. And every person he would talk about, he doesn't have a clue. I'm telling you, if you put a firecracker up his butt and told him he was going to light it, every time he didn't know something, he would have no rear end at all now. And I'm being nice. But I'm sick and tired of these people coming in. And I'm going to talk about someone else because I want you guys to know if you know who it is, because I don't. Maybe this person's been around for a while, but I'm going to talk about that when we get in the show. But I'm going to go ahead and say the pledge and do the music. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to calm down. Just mellow out, Janet. Janet, if I start getting a little bit too, hey, Robert, good to see you. If I get a little bit too rough and too flamboyant, because these people, well, they're not doing what I say they're going to do, so I'm going to tell my family and I'm going to tell the people who's followed me for 10 years and I'm quitting because I'm tired. Hey, guys, guys, we're close, guys. Hey, guys, I'm on my 55th NDA, guys. I'm sick and tired of these people. I'll be back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I'd rather stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no town of this land. God bless the USA. Next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless you.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA, and I am proud to be an American. And you know, I got to start, before I get to the kids, I got to start off with a funny story. Because kids, what is the one thing I always tell you to do? Get outside and play. Right, Jeffrey? Right, Janet? Right, Robert? Linda, Patrick? Papa G, good to see you all. But I always tell these children to get outside and play. Well, today we hit 70 degrees here in the beautiful state of Illinois. My daughter gave me a call and said, you want to meet at the park? I took the 2 grandkids that live with me. She brought my other 3 grandkids, my daughter, myself. We went to this park down along the Kankakee River. Straight across from the river is one of the most beautiful golf courses you'll ever see. Just down from that a little bit, it's just scenery is just amazing. And with it being a sunshiny day, man, going to be a bright, sunshiny day, Kevin. But we got outside and boy, we got some fresh air and it was a magical day. But you know, how many other kids got out? You know, we would have stayed longer, but the kids were complaining they were hungry. Tried to feed them before they went, but nobody wanted to eat. They wanted to get to the park. Heck, the kids was even wading in the Kankakee River. And for you that don't know it, you can Google it, because the Kankakee River is a very, very famous river. We don't have much in Illinois that's famous. We got a fat man that runs the state, but he's only popular because he's an idiot. His home is in Wisconsin. Imagine that, the governor of Illinois. My home is in Wisconsin. Doesn't have any bathrooms because he tore them all out because he didn't want to pay taxes for them. But like I said, get out and play. So today I took, with my daughter, Patriot Super Gymnast, Patriot 7, Patriot Small Hank, Patriot Little Gymnast, and Patriot Carol. We went to the park and we had fun. There were some other kids there and they had fun with them. I'm hoping that Super Jimmy, I'm hoping you got outside. I'm even hoping that maybe little Patriot 11 got out and rode his horse. Patriot Wyatt Earp and Patriot Karate Kid. I'm hoping that you guys got out and played. I don't know what your weather is, because right now, who's going to know what weather is where because of what they're doing to us? Cindy says she's praying that everyone else, like everyone else, that the special beds will save the day. Well, it's just like the Long Ranger, Cindy, and I'm going off Target up talking kids, but Cindy sent me a message. I'm going off Target here like the Lone Rangers. High silver away. The beds are going to be there. When $3.39 for gas in Texas. Why, Lindate? Man, $4.09 here. But you know what I seen in our? I seen a video, and the man in charge, the man that says, dig, baby, dig, drill, baby, drill, do this, do that. We just got 800 billion barrels of oil donated to us. We got more oil. We don't have to worry about oil for the next 200 years. He said that the gas prices are dropping drastically. But every time I go out, the gas prices are. I don't care if the man ain't getting the stuff done. He's just a politician now. He's like all the rest of them. Jerry Wells, are the White Sox and Cubs leaving as well? No, I don't think so. Where would the Cubs go? They play in the worst stadium in Major League Baseball history. Oh, it's got a lot of memories. What? That their team led the league in most losses for how many years? That they was a last place team for how many years? Oh, yeah, when you go to the ballpark, you might just get a brick in the head. That's happened. But I don't think they'll leave because that's a shrine. It's a piece of crap waiting to collapse. White Sox ain't going anywhere. Their new owners they just bought a whole new spot of land. I believe they're going to build a brand new stadium. And I also think what's going to happen now, the Bears are going to be in there. But you know what? I don't really want to talk sports tonight because quite frankly, it's making me a little bit on the nauseous side. I mean, it's not a good thing. Hello, Lynn. Let me see who else we got here. So we was all the way up to Patriot Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter. It's just something. I know, Princess, you got outside. And Hunter, I bet you did too today, if the weather was nice. Patriot Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie. Grandpa John, he's right there for you. Sometimes you just got to laugh, right? How you doing, John, old buddy? Patriot Little Leona and Little Leon. I was talking to my daughter today, and we were talking about people we've lost, people that could still be here with the beds. And I'm going to tell you a story about my daughter here in a minute because I was really, her and my son-in-law, because I was really proud of both of them. I'll tell you the story. Patriot Little Leona, named after my mom. Patriot Leilon, named after my aunt, of which he's got a birthday coming up April 2nd, and I will sing to her if we're on that day. I don't know if we're on that day. Sunday's the 5th, so Saturday be the 4th. No, we're not on. I might have to sing to her Wednesday night. Maybe I'll just go put some flowers on her grave and sing to her then. What do you think about that, Ian? Should I do that? Robert Ford, old buddy. It's always good to hear from you. Good to see you here, guys. Robert is from the UK, and he's one of our persons that pretty much is always here. Sometimes I think I should move the show up to 6:00, but we've been doing it so long here that probably 1. Yeah, everything is settled over in Iran. So why is the gas so high? I don't know. It's a movie. I wish the movie would end because, man, I finally quit making popcorn for me and Ron. We were gaining 50 pounds just in popcorn. There's a thing that when you go toot, it's called a popcorn tart. It's a different Latin first letter, but you know what I'm talking about. So, Patriot Anya, Cutie Pie, and Patriot 17, who I finally found out his name, but we're just calling him Zen. It's Xenia. The X might be silent, and it might be just Yena. Very, very cute kids, very, very happy kids. And boy, I tell you, the one thing you don't have to tell them kids is go outside and play, because if they get the chance, man, I'm telling you, you don't know which one's going to get out the door the quickest. Little Anya, the other day, they got to go for some ice cream, and she had to have the biggest cone. I guess she got it all over her face, and they said it was funny. Good times are coming for all kids, and the kids, all I can say is put the electronics down. Just do it. I looked at Small Hank today, and I looked at him, and I said, hey, where's your phone? Where's your tablet?
No.
He says, Grandpa Hank, I don't need a phone and tablet when I go with you because you talk to me. So that makes me wonder, is it the kids or is it the parents just say, it's just, when he said that, I'll tell you what it reminded me of. It reminded me of my 3-year-old granddaughter, who when she turned 3 in January, she was able to do the second semester in preschool. 3 years old and you're in preschool already? Thank goodness I had polio when I was 3. So anyway, that pretty much covers tonight's kids section. Remember, kids, this video is not for you. You can watch it under discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music we played tonight is for entertainment purposes only. We play it because it's kind of become a theme song, but we have no legal rights to it. Any other things that I use tonight, audios, videos, or whatever, we have no legal rights to. We do it because it helps get people aware of things. So that concludes all of that. Now, I want to talk to you about my daughter and my son-in-law. My son-in-law is Grandma Bo's grandson. And my daughter was telling me today where we were at the park today by the Kankakee River. And I'm telling you, right across the river was a golf course. And man, I could just see me and Ronnie golfing that cars. When we get the money, I could see us buying it and letting people golf. Just people who usually couldn't afford it, let them go golfing. We're already looking at another course to buy. And just let people, hey, we're not going to have no strict rules. It's just that the course doesn't open until 9 o'clock in the morning. Because if me and Ron want to go out and play the little 9-hole course, we don't want no one out there. Ron says, yeah, well, the beauty of it is then they start at 9, they finish the front. It's only 9 holes. They finish 9 holes. Hey, come on inside. It's just lunchtime. And we're not going to charge arm length. We might give the food away. Don't need it. And that's the kind of world we're going to. But anyway, I want to tell you about my son-in-law, David. His sister lives alongside the Kankakee River in that very nice subdivision. I'm not going to tell you how she gets the money. It's not important. She just got married. But she made a post on Facebook the other day, and it said the word duck, the word duck, but it's not duck. It's got a different first letter. Ice. Duck ice. My son-in-law responded to him, duck you. Huh? To her. Made the post back to her, duck you. That was a terrible thing to say. She comes back and she said, duly noted. They haven't talked for a while. But I was proud of my son-in-law for sticking up for something that's right. Because you know what? He's turned into a patriot. He has really turned into a patriot. My daughter was talking about some things today. Well, I think it was last night. They got a little tavern in town. And what was last night? Tuesday? Every Tuesday night, or every other Tuesday night, people meet at this tavern, not to drink, not to eat. I'm sure they do. But they meet there to have a trivia. And it was 90s trivia. And the question was, Janet, the question was Papa G, the question was Bill Woods. What year did Lady Diana die? Princess Diana. What year does she die? Does anybody know?
She ain't died yet.
My daughter, God bless her soul, stood up and said, she's not died yet. She's still alive. About 5 women in the thing goes like this, you're right, you're right. And people are going, what do you mean? My daughter says, just do some research. Then me and her stood there in this park today while the kids were playing, and we discussed it. And she said, Dad, Ralph, no, she never called me Ralph in my life. She said, Dad, what do you think? And I said, about what? Elvis. I said, BJ. She said, what? That minister?
I heard Elvis has a son.
Now Ron's telling me he heard Elvis has a son. But no, I said, he says, he said, she says to me, Dad, he would be almost 90. I said, special beds. Oh, I never thought of that. And I said, the one I'm really hoping is true that I've heard. And she said, who? I said, think back to 1963 in Dallas, Texas. She said, no way. I said, that's what I'm hearing. I think he'd be 104 or 105. Special beds. Why? Bill Woods, Jeffrey, John, RP/CJ. Can I just call you RP? Robert, why can't he still be? If we have the technology that we're going to go back like it was when I said, read the Old Testament. How long did they live? She said, who else do you think, Dad? I said, how long you got? And we get talking about this because there's this guy out there that he knows it all about. He's got the whole list. He's got the list, guys, that we've been talking about for 5 years. But boy, cha-ching, cha-ching when them people pay money. And I went in and I made a comment. I said, I don't mind you coming in. I don't mind you making money. You're the one that's got to deal with the hat when it's all over and done. But at least know what you're talking about, because you're a disgrace to the people who sit up here for 5 and 10 and 15 years, who's been doing this for all this time. You're a disgrace to come in here and don't even know who Mike Douglas is. She looked at me and she said, what about Whitney Houston? I said, yep. She said, no way. I said, how about if I take you home on the country roads? She said, John Denver? I said, uh-huh. Who else? I said, when's my birthday? She said, February 4th. How old would I have been in 1959? She said, 5. My daughter knows me. I said, what happened on that date? You ain't telling me they are. I said, from what I'm hearing. See, you can say things and you can really get points across. She said, Dad, I'm going to push to get a night where what ifs are up there. And you'll come and you'll win that easily. Oh, not if I had to go against Janet and Jeffrey and Cindy. But isn't it a glorious world we live in, guys, when people that we think are gone are still here and they're going to come back? And then one of the things that my daughter said to me right then and there was, she said, what about MJ? And I'm not thinking Michael Jordan. I said, I know what you're talking about. Have you seen the videos out, Dad? I said, what videos? Seen a lot of him. Have you seen the ones where they was trying to persecute him and claim that he was what they was saying? I said, oh, yeah. But are you seeing these people that's coming out that actually he saved? That he wasn't doing this like the Clatons and the OBs and the Bushes, Beans, and all of them people. He wasn't doing this to these children, but he was saving them. And I said, yes, I have. And I stood there, and for that brief moment, I had I wanted to just hug my daughter so bad because she's opened her eyes. Still doesn't want to believe me about all her bills are going to get paid, because that's a pipe dream for her. She's got an $1,800 house payment. Oh, why? I don't know. I don't know. But it is what it is, and that's where we're at. But I just wanted to share that story because I was so proud of not her, But Dave, my son-in-law, Dave's always pushing the stuff, and they know I got their back. And, it's really a great thing, this field, Janet. Eileen, hi, Eileen. Good to see you. It's really a great thing to feel, Ian and John, when people you care for start opening their eyes. When your grandkids or your children come up to you and say, Papa, Grandpa, when is this going to happen? And I looked at him and I said, when God says it's going to. I told you, Patriot, super gymnast, little Ella, of all the things she could have asked for her birthday, she asked for a Bible. I heard her mom say, have you been reading it? She says, well, I start to and then I get doing something else, but I always make sure I read a little bit every day. How many 12-year-olds you know? Now, I had to stick up for Ella today. You probably remember last summer when Ella was just an 11-year-old. Well, I'm telling you, from 11 to 12, Ella has went from my little granddaughter to my beautiful, amazing granddaughter. And she had an outfit on today. And the only reason she wears it is because it drives her dad nuts. And it was a little t-shirt that showed about this much of her tummy and a little pair of blue jean shorts. It was very cute. And Amber said something to her today about it. And I said, leave her alone. She looks very nice. You'd have never let me wear something like that. And I never said nothing. When Ella walked away and it was just me and Amber, I said, you know why I would have never let you wear nothing like that? And she said, why? And I said, because you'd have never wore nothing like that. But, Amber, you're going to be 40 years old on June 10th. Ella's 12 years old. There's 28 years difference. And times they be a-changing. So now let's talk about the food. Talk about the food that we're eating now, guys. It's killing us. It really is killing us. And that was their plan all along. But it's not going to kill us because they're going to take all this stuff away. And I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer, and you guys can call me crazy and call me nuts. You can call me anything you want, as long as you do not call me too late for supper, because I got to have my supper, whether it's good or bad.
Which we almost never had last night.
Yeah, we almost didn't have our supper last night. Dasher had one of her seizures last night about the time I was coming down to make supper for me and Ron. And it was one of her most mild ones. I've been giving her medicine. And Linda Scullen, she told me some stuff to get. I got it. And she still has them used to be about one every 4 weeks. Now it's about one every 6, maybe 6.5. But last night's really was mild compared to others. I seen an article with the hat. And he says that thing in Iran is over. Glory, glory. Hallelujah. One last thing, talking to my daughter today. We got talking about, Dad, when do you think this is going to be done? And I said, I can't give you a definite time, but I will tell you this. With all my heart, I believe everything will be done. I believe everything will be in place before the July 4th. And she says, why would you say before then? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, well, why would you say it's going to be done before July 4th? I said, because July 4th is the 250th year, the 250th birthday of the United States of America, the greatest country in the world. Make America great again. Now, make America the greatest again. We always have been great. And in my opinion, we've always been the greatest. But I said, I believe the hat, DJT, I believe he wants not just the United States of America, but he wants everybody in the world, every country in the world on that day. If it's dark outside, they're shooting fireworks. And any place you look in the sky, you're going to see beautiful fireworks. I truthfully believe that. So when someone asks me, and I'll tell you a part of telling you this tonight, because Julia asked me in one of her letters yesterday, she says, when do you think I'll be there to be with you and to be part of the family? I said, well, you're already part of the family, but I told her by July 4th, and then I started figuring, wow, today's the 25th. We only got 6 days this month. 30 in April is 36. 31 in May is what? 67. 30 in June is 97. 101 days. Me and her have been writing each other for 7 years. 2,500 days, and we got 101 more. And she goes, oh, that was magic to my. She told me in a letter today, she said, I went and talked to my mom. I went and talked to Masha, my friend, and said, look it. And I really and truthfully, guys, I'm not saying this because I've read it. I'm saying this is me telling my family right here, Bill Woods, Janet, John, Beth Shaw, Jeffrey, Papa G, Eileen, Maria Capale, something, CAPELO. I'm telling you right now, I honestly believe, and so does Ron, and we talk about this, it will be done before then because we're going to have to have time to celebrate. Now, before I go any further, I want to read an article here. It was sent by Ronnie on Telegram. Not Ron, Ronnie. On Telegram, Ronnie, since he puts so much amazing stuff out there. But this was sent by Ronnie, and it says, please, a quick thought. Please do yourself a favor and do not waste any time listening to the certain call tonight, making empty promises. Tier 4B will not receive notifications until next month, period. End of story. No matter what anyone says, there is still too much that has to be completed before that phrase can begin. That's not my opinion, it's reality. The good news, everything is moving exactly as it should. This is not a delay, it's a process. And it's unfolding wonderfully. So there's no giving excuses. Why is the delay? But I'm telling you, there is not a delay. Now, this was not a post that Ronnie came up with. It was a very good post. And I'm glad he brought it to my attention because it goes in with this other gentleman that I was telling you that Mike Douglas was a great reporter. Get your facts straight. The person, and I thought when I copied this, it said who the person was. I thought it said it, but evidently that part got cut off. But it was some lady. So my question to this lady is, where do you get your facts? How do you know that you can come out for certain and say we will get it next month? How do you know for certain that everything is running smoothly? Because if you listen to Charlie Ward, who supposedly knows more about this than anybody, he'll tell you this is a pantomime. This is a movie. This is not real. It's already been played. And, they was talking the other day online about something that happened some years ago in the exact same place, in the exact same water, and at the exact same time, on the exact same date, only years apart. Isn't it funny that the exact same thing with these ships happened the way they did? Now, on the good news, I read an article that, and when I report this, guys, I'm going to tell you like Judy Bidington says, do your own research. I don't, because I have you guys do it. But when I read it, I don't bring something on. And I don't mean to offend anybody. except the lady that wrote the article that Ronnie put up there. But I'm thankful that he put it up there, that brought it to our attention. There's people out there that will say anything about anybody. So I thought, just as a nice gesture to this lady for putting that all together, I thought just for a nice gesture for those who didn't and took her advice and didn't listen to this guy, Bruce, March 24, 2026, bondholders have not received their emails that they have funds in account and when they can spend it. We heard from Bondmaster this afternoon that they hope to get those emails around 11 a.m. tomorrow and how much money they have in their accounts and when they can spend. We will not know until we talk to people who get those emails, but for us, it means we go approximately 48 hours after bondholders get their notifications. Now, see, guys, what he said there is not a lie. Once the bondholders are told we're supposed to go, this is something they've been saying for years. My thing is about this is I've heard so many times the bondholders have been paid, the bondholders haven't been paid, this man's been on a magical bed, this man can't get on a magical bed. I'm tired of I just want it to happen. Right, Cindy? Okay. We could start exchanges on Friday or Saturday. We could go through Palm Sunday and have this before the end of the month. Treasury spoke to one of the Redemption Center leaders, sending an email to them saying we will have this before the end of this month and we are a week away, but the timing looks like it could be for Friday. Notification rates have been and often off the screens, few currencies, then blank today. They are getting ready to load the currencies on the Redemption Center screens. Now, I'm going to say this about this man that this lady said, don't waste your time. It was. Poor Marianne gets on at 9 o'clock her time every night. She gets off at 10:30, 20 to 11 every Tuesday and Thursday listening to these clowns so they can sell their products, so they can make money. And then he comes on, and that was his show right there. That was in a nutshell his show. Everything he said, we already knew. So I did say I had some, I thought, pretty good news. This Ron got me this just a little bit ago. See new post conversation, Mr. Poole _ QQ 72 hours. That's all that's left. March 27th, the date they don't want you to circle. The hat didn't extend the Iran deadline because he's negotiating. He extended it because the system isn't ready yet. Let me explain what's actually happening and why you need to screenshot this message right now. At this very moment, 3 things are being moved simultaneously. Number 1, gold. Central banks bought more gold in the last 90 days than any quarter since 1967, period. Not investment banks, central banks, the ones who write WRITE, all in capital letters, the rules. They're not buying gold because they're scared. They're buying it because they know what's replacing the dollar, the fiat dollar. Number 2, quantum nodes, NODES. The QFS backbone went from 12 active nodes in January to 67 active nodes of last Friday. Each node possesses 1.4 million transactions per second. You don't build that kind of infrastructure for a system you're not about to turn on. Number 3, SWIFT, all in capital letters. Access keys on March 16th, exactly 11 days before the deadline. Ripple's partner, THUNES, quietly announced stablecoin payouts to 11,500 banks through SWIFT. They called it Smart Superhighway. That's not a partnership. That's a replacement wearing a disguise. 3 moves, 1 deadline, March 27th. Now, here's the part they'll never say on television. The Iran war isn't about Iran. It never was. Every bomb that falls on Tehran is a distraction from what's happening in the server rooms underneath the Federal Reserve building in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. They're migrating the ledger, 23 trillion in US debt, 8 trillion in offshore accounts. Every transaction, every loan, every dark money transfer since 1971, all of it is being moved from the old system to the new one. And when the migration is complete, the old system gets unplugged. That's what March 27th is. Not a deadline for Iran, a deadline for the Federal Reserve. Why do you think gold dropped from 5,595 to 4,384 in 8 weeks? That's not a crash. That's a controlled descent. They're repricing gold for the new system. When QFS goes live, gold doesn't trade in dollars anymore. It trades in quantum verified weight. The price you see today is the last dollar price you will ever have. Tier 4B notifications are ready, QUERED. The 800 numbers have been tested. The redemption centers are staffed. I told you last week, the deals are signed. The gold is moved. The war is covered in 72 hours. When the clock hits 0, the dollar doesn't crash. It simply stops existing. Set your alarm for March 27th. Forward this to everyone you trust. Then, this is something that's near and dear to my heart, near and dear to Ron's. And you know what? It should be near and dear to everybody. Breaking, the U.S. has made its offer of security guarantees needed for a peace deal in Ukraine, conditional on Kiev ceding all the country's eastern region of Donbass to Russia. President Vladimir Zelensky told Reuters in an interview. Now, here's the most important thing about that. Zelensky's the one that's talking about it. The hat is the one that's put this together. I believe, and I've been telling Julia, her mom, Masha, I've been telling anybody in that country that would listen to me, the war is over. And that's my personal opinion. I can't promise them it is. But you know, she told me it's funny. The last 2 weeks, they could go about doing things they haven't been able to do for 5 years. They can go outside. Their kids got to go to the park. Their kids got to go and have ice cream. They went to the orphanage twice. It had been 3 years since they had been to the orphanage. And the kids that remembered them from when they used to go every week, run and jumped in their arms and said, Miss Julia, Miss Masha, we miss you. We love you so much. Yeah. You know, talking to people from both countries, there's things I do. And when I talk to these and they tell me, and then I talk to the people from Russia, all you ever get is, we don't care. We just want it over. I've talked to you many times. No matter if the war ends today, tomorrow, or wherever, at that kitchen table, there's going to be empty chairs. In that bedroom, there's going to be empty beds. And that's why I say right now, I've never been so excited about my project. I mean, it's moved up to my number one project, the kids and the animals. And then I'm going to rebuild my town if they allow it. But I had an argument with them the other day, and I might just tell them to kiss where I sit. They don't want it. There's a lot of other towns that if we take something to them and say, hey, we'll do this for your town, and they'll jump at it. One of them's a place me and Ron's looking to buy a golf course. We like the people over there. Used to work over there for 10 years, Ron?
Yeah.
Something like that. So let's see what else we got. I know there's something. I believe this is it. Yeah, this is something I wanted to read. Paul White, Gold Eagle. On Monday, 23rd March 2026, Mono Savin confirmed the below schedule for the final activation phase, signaling the storm is upon us as Donald the Hat restores the Republic via global currency reset. On Wednesday, 25 March 2026, the global currency reset ignites the gold-backed quantum financial system, 209 nations. The Hat, Mr. Donald, ripped the Fed from the cabal. It is now the sovereign U.S. Treasury, NESARA/GESARA, fully enacted with no income tax and a new 14% sales tax on goods. Deep state melting as military raids there. Whatever. P, a bunch of stuff. E, rings. Sending elites to Gitmo. The children are saved, and the saved at the last from these monsters. On Friday, 27 March 2026, banks begin the QFS transition. Patriot stock, food, cash, water, and essentials right away on Friday night, 27 March 2026. They had to drop an announcement that will shock the world. President Donald the Hat, Tier 4B, ISO 222 on Telegram. On Saturday, 28 March 2026, a 48-hour blackout countdown begins where banks will go dark for the next 10 days. On Monday, 30th March 2026, the 10 days of darkness began. Starlink, EBS exposes cabal crimes, fraud, and CT by elites, and Hollywood martial law locks down P/file arrest worldwide. Fake Biden regime ends as Republic returns. On Wednesday, 1 April 2026, the global currency reset and NESARA/GESARA laws will activate debt forgiveness, frees all from slavery. Gold currency brings prosperity to the people. Each individual will receive texts and emails notify how to set appointments at official redemption centers. To set appointment at an official redemption center, to wallet, formerly known as a bank account, you will be given a one-time secure code, instructions for wallet activation, confirmation of debt wipeouts status, and access to your own sovereign fund dashboard. On Friday, 3 April 2026, President the Hat will tweet on X, formerly known as Twitter, where we will say, my fellow Americans, the storm is upon us. God bless. The EBS broadcast tribunals revealing the S C Kardashian Mafia. The Hat and White Hats crush the globalists completely. Mr. Pool 2.0 on Telegram. On Monday, 6 April 2026, GESARA wealth drops and Zim redemptions fund humanitarian projects ending cabal's poverty schemes. On Wednesday, April 8, 2026, special beds activate, healing the damage from their poisons. I actually got through that.
That was a big one, I said.
As Ron said, that was a big one. I speak a lot about Julia, guys. Her best friend, her sister, whatever you want to call her Her name is Masha, and this is a picture of her. This beautiful woman right here is Patriot 17 and Patriot Cutie Pie's mom. I'll probably get in trouble when she finds out I showed it to everybody, but she's 5,000 miles away. She can't harm me. Let's see what else we got. I think we got Judy left reading them. We're going to call it a night. Judy Bidington, summary, sheds light on the impending changes that are set to revolutionize the way we perceive and interact with money. According to Judy Bidington's latest update compiled on March 25th, 2026, the world is on CUSP, C-U-S-P, of a new era of financial independence brought about by activation and quantum financial system, QFS, and the implementation of NESARA/GESARA. The emergency broadcast system is poised to be activated, marking a significant turning point in the global financial saga. When this happens, the world will witness the downfall of the, banking system, and the truth about NESARA/GESARA law will be exposed. The people of the world will transition to a sovereign-based system backed by gold and assets, while the C LS fiat currency, which has been the backbone of their control, will be worthless. As we approach the activation date of April 1st, 2026, several developments are expected to unfold. Certain areas of the country may experience emergency lockdowns, travel restrictions, bank closures, making it essential for individuals to stock up on food, cash, and other essentials. The U.S. Congress and President the Hat have approved the quantum financial system, paving the way for a global activation, including the release of NESARA/GESARA funds. According to Juan O'Sullivan, a key figure in the unfolding drama of the global currency reset is expected to unite and gold-backed quantum financial system in 209 nations on March 25th, 2026. This will be followed by full enactment of the NESARA/GESARA laws, which will bring about a new system with no income tax and a 14% sales tax on goods. The banks are expected to begin their transition of the QFS on March 27, 2026, and a 48-hour blackout countdown will commence on March 28, 2026, marking the beginning of a 10-day period during which banks will go dark. On April 1st, 2026, a global currency reset of NESARA/GESARA laws will be activated for the general public, bringing debt forgiveness and freeing individuals from financial, Each person will receive text and emails instruction on how to set up an appointment at a redemption center to create personal wallet, formerly known as a bank account. The exchange redemption process is expected to be a crucial aspect of the financial system. Individuals are advised to prepare a short summary of their humanitarian projects, including details on how many years they plan to run the projects, the number of people they can employ, and the approximate amount of money required. Advisors, ADVISERS, will be available at the redemption centers to guide individuals in managing their funds and choosing projects. It's noteworthy that rates for Zim redemption are expected to be high, with no project being paid at $15 million and a project paid rate of 1-to-1 for the first two bond notes and a $25 million per 100T note subsequent bond notes. Individuals are advised to exchange their foreign currency at an official redemption center rather than exchange at banks, as they will be offered better exchange rates. As we count down to the activation date, it's clear that the world is on the verge of a significant transformation. The cabal's control of the financial system is expected to crumble, and the new era of financial independence will dawn. As Judy Bidington reports, highlights is essential to be prepared for the changes that are coming and understand the process involved in the exchange redemption process. With the new QFS NESARA/GESARJ laws set to revolutionize the global financial landscape, it's clear that we are on the threshold of a new era of prosperity and freedom. As we move forward, the essential to stay informed and be prepared to adopt changed circumstances. The future looks bright and promise of a restored republic is within. For someone that don't like to read, I just did a whole lot of it tonight. Hey, Kevin, why you mad? I don't think anybody is. That's what they're saying. Why you mad? Jan, children are great. Agreed. Best Shaw wants the special beds to come on. Like Bob Barker. Come on down, med beds. Our special beds. Got a little bit carried away there. John has 7 grandkids. Wait a minute. We only got 4 boogs. Who's them other ones, John? You holding out on us? I'm sorry, Ron just cracked the joke. And Ron don't crack many funny jokes, but that was a good one. So anyway, for all of us that's here tonight, I want to thank you, Maria and Jan and John and every Lynn and Bill and Janet, and you're just troopers. We got 94 people here, 40 that's like to be enough to say they did. It means the world to me that half of you think I do all right. As I'm saying this, I know Papa G is laughing because he likes to have fun too. And guys, we're going to end tonight's show with a short prayer. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of tonight's show, please look after everybody. And Lord, we discussed a lot of things tonight, and we're just putting them in your hands. As when I used to go to Herscher on Labor Day, every year we would go, and one song that I knew they would play every year, Lord, was you got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole wide world in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. You got the whole world in your hands. And then it would go on to say, you got me and you, sister, me and you, Papa, me and you, Mama. And it would go on, Lord. It's a song that is a young kid, 6, 7 years old. I have remembered that song throughout the years because you do. You have the whole world in your hand. So we're asking you to take them hands and reach out and just be there for all of us. There's people in this group tonight that are in desperate need of these special beds. Please help us get there. I look at right now on the living room floor of my brother's house, Ron. My little dog needs this bed really bad. And I'm not saying my dog deserves to be on it faster than a human being. I'm just saying that we all need these. We have lived in their HE double toothpicks, Lord. We have lived in their rules for so long. Let us come back and take your world and put it heaven on earth like you've always been. You have a great group of family here, great groups of people all over the world wanting to be with you, stand by you. Put angels on their shoulders, and let's bring this to a close. Let's cross the finish line. As a famous guy used to say, let's get her done, Lord. Let's get her done as we come and talk to you through my Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Everyone here, Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Good night, everyone. I'm hoping that we have a really good call tomorrow night. I'm hoping Bruce knocks it out of the park, and who knows, maybe the celebration call, maybe some of the things that we talked about tonight is going to happen, and we might come on at 9 o'clock or 9:30 tomorrow night just to say it's done. I don't know, but I'm going to stay positive, and I'm going to continue to stay positive. In the shadows of my own home, sometimes I get just like everyone else, but on here, I stay positive. Good night. God bless. We love you all, and we'll see you, if not before, on Friday night.